IVM.
Before we begin, here's a quick announcement. Design Up Conference is back with the energy, the inspiration, and the excitement for the sixth year. 25 speakers over 2 days, 8 unconference events, and endless networking on 17th and 18th of September in Namma, Bangalore. Be there, check out the buzz, the speakers, register now on 2022.designup.io. This is Audio Gyan, and I am your host Kedar Nimkar. Welcome to a deep dive into the minds of luminaries from the Indian creative world. Raja Janaka one day was lying in his bed when the Minister of State came and exclaimed, "King, the enemy has attacked." Raja Janaka woke up to his glorious surrounding in his room with his beautiful wife sitting on the other end. He got ready and prepared his troops for the war. In the war, he was heavily defeated, with almost all his men either getting killed or captured. The enemy king didn't kill Raja Janaka, but ordered him to go exile. Defeated and exhausted, Janaka started walking away from the kingdom. No one offered him any help, as everyone was scared of the repercussions by the new king. On reaching the boundary of his kingdom, Janaka saw poor people standing in queue waiting for food to be served to them. Till the time it was Janaka's turn to get served, the food had finished. There was only a little bit of left, and he was given that to eat. But as fate would have it, as he started eating, a bird came and splashed into his food. Janaka fell down on the ground in a thumping manner as he was unable to believe the fate. That's when he woke up and realized that this was a dream. Amazed at the realness of the dream, Janaka started pondering whether his current state of magnificence is true or his dreaming state with all the misery is true. Days passed and the king kept on repeating only one question: is this true or that true? Ya ye sach, ya wo sach. This got all the ministers super worried, as all the important work in the kingdom was getting stalled. Soon the news spread in the kingdom, and during the same time sage Ashtavakra was passing through the city. And since he was a sage, he knew everything. Therefore he decided to visit Janaka and help him resolve his issue so that the normal functioning of the kingdom can resume. He went to Janaka and told him he knew everything about the dream and his confusion. Ashtavakra told Janaka, "Neither this is true, nor that is true. Only you are true." So the resolution was actually, na ye sach, na wo sach, bas tum hi sach. Well, why did I tell this story? Our today's guest has been a guest in the episode number 34 in October 2017, where we discuss independent cinema, but he particularly mentioned the author theory, which I could see in most of his films that he has written and directed. Mithya, Aankho Dekhi, and recently released RKRK, where the protagonist is typically in search of truth obsessively, or at least taking the audience in the zone of questioning or talking about existence. Today we have Rajat Kapoor back with us on Audio Gyan. We ended our conversation last time by asking listeners and well-wishers to crowdfund his film, and here we are 5 years later, talking about the film which I saw day before yesterday. I was honored to see my name also in the credits. So today we are going to talk about the film RKRK and nudge with few philosophical questions. So welcome Rajat to Audio Gyan. Welcome back actually, and it's a real honor to have you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure being with you.
Cool. So I've sort of thought of doing it in two parts, as in like first few questions will be around the film itself and how did you arrive at it, and sort of the nuances about crowdfunding and stuff like that. And the second is mainly sort of fueling my curiosity about where are these conflicts coming from, or any philosophical take that you have in your journey overall, reflecting back to the work that you have done. So first I wanted to ask is what inspired you to make RKRK? I mean, as the sage Ashtavakra says, na ye sach, na wo sach, and I see that theme to be sort of peeking out in couple of films. Definitely in Aankhon Dekhi, where there are these few existential questions.
And in Mithya, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because the premise of Mithya was that you create a fiction of yourself. You know, you say, okay, this is who I am. But one day when you lose your memory, for example, in Mithya, then who are you? Then what are you? You know, yeah. So, yeah, exactly this. Is this true or... So what is true? I mean, there's a Chinese thing, na? That last night I dreamt I was a butterfly. Now I don't know if I'm a man who dreamt he was a butterfly, or I'm a butterfly who's right now dreaming that he's a man.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, this exists in all in all philosophies. This
Continue.
this question of what is real, and what more than what is real, what is the truth? Sach kya hai? Are we really sitting here and talking, or we are in a matrix?
इनफैक्ट आपको मैंने ये सवाल पूछा था लास्ट एपिसोड में कि मिथ्या नाम क्यों रखा था आपने.
Yeah. But this is the story of Maya, no? The very idea of Maya is this, that it is Maya. It is not really. This is something that is being dreamt right now, and you're part of that dream, and you're playing a part in that dream. And then that question again comes out in RKRK when Mehboob is saying, you know, आपको लगता है आप कर रहे हैं, लेकिन करवाने वाला तो कोई और है. सब कुछ पहले से तय है, आपको लगता है आप ही कर रहे हैं. Yeah. So then if this is the case, then what becomes also, what comes into question is also the idea of free will and destiny, you know. Do I have free will? Or am I going through the motions and doing everything that I was destined to do, that was written for me, as is written for a character in a film or a book? That idea again is the central theme for RKRK. And at one point, महबूब says कि अगर सब कुछ पहले से तय है, सब कुछ पत्थर पे लिखा है, तो यही तो मेरी आज़ादी का वो है कि मैं इश्क कर सकता हूँ. मैं हूँ क्योंकि मैं इश्क कर सकता हूँ. This is the proof of my existence, that I am able to give love or be in love, you know. Yeah, so these are, again, but you know, you're making a film about a character running out of a film and confronting his author, his writer, and saying, I'm a free man. You think you've written me so you can control me, or that I'm controlled by what I was given, but no, I'm more than what I was given. I'm a being, and I'm a being who can act. Who can act even against what I was given. So it is really a very important for me statement of rising above your circumstances, if you want, in a way, of asserting free will, of saying I am, you know, and not be defined by what you were given.
But these seem to be then ideas, right? And in
Correct.
the conversation we had earlier, where you said, like, you generally don't start from an idea but from a story. But when you just now said even these 4 lines, there are layers of information or layers of introspection which can be done, and these seem to be purely ideas.
Right.
So then,
But you don't start with that, and you don't end with that. Both things are important. You start with something else. Of course, that's what I said, because if I'm making a film, my whole being will be there in the film, you know, and all my conflicts, all my fears, all my philosophy, politics, everything will. I can't hide it. It will become a part of whatever I'm doing, if I'm honest.
but then do you try and like consciously weave in those, or those come in instinctively?
No, that's what I said. You don't try and do this consciously, but it becomes a part of what you're doing because it is a part of you. You know, so you can't escape it, you can't hide it. I'll go a step further. If I said earlier that ideas don't make films, stories do, I will go a step further and I'll say not even stories, but images do. Ideas don't make a film, stories don't, images do. A film is made with images and sound. So stories also finally a tool for you to get into the world of images. You know, you're not going there with a story. You're going there through images, which will lead you to a story, which will lead you to emotions, which will lead you to ideas.
Wow.
You know, but so maybe the ultimately where you'll reach, hopefully, is to question your own existence and your own ideas and your being part of this universe. You know, but you'll get it through a story, which you'll get through images and sound. If I was to tell you directly, कि यार हम हैं ही नहीं, पर मैं क्या बाबा बन जाऊंगा, you know, and you will also listen to me, कि पागल हो गए. You know, I'm saying that it'll have a less impact, but when I go to you through a story, which I've reached you through images, it has another kind of, you have another relationship with that idea. Because I'm not selling it to you as an idea. I'm not saying buy Parle-G. You know, it's great in the morning with your chai. I'm not selling you that. You know, in a way, advertising also understands that.
Yeah.
So advertising also doesn't say buy Parle-G. They give you a story of a happy family. They give you a beautiful morning. They give you light through images and a story. Through images and story, they sell you an emotion, which will then sell the product. In their case, it's a product. In our case, it's an idea.
Beautiful. But the images, I'll come back to the images part. Is there sort of, I don't know, like you present it through an image, which is it because it's more relatable, it's more palatable, or is it sort of the way you want to express?
That's my medium. I'm working in films. So that is how I'll do it. If I was a singer, I would do it through notes. Right. If I was a poet, I would do it with words. If I was a painter, I would do it with color. Color would be my medium. In this case, my medium is the camera and the images it captures.
Correct.
So I have to explore that. That is the only way. How light falls on a person is part of what I do. How colors, posture, everything becomes part of that image. The texture around, all this makes an image, right?
Yeah.
And then,
okay, so maybe,
sorry to interrupt you. And then on top of that, what lens I put on my camera will make an image. Where do I put my camera? Will make an image. Does the camera move or no? Does it track slowly onto you as we speak? Does it go slightly up? Changes everything, right? And then I add sound to it, and then I have the option of editing it. करते करते वहाँ रुक गया, suddenly laptop के ऊपर आ गया. Cut back to extreme close up of your eye. Something has happened, you know. So these are the tools through which you tell a story, which will then propel you to emotions and so on.
But if I have that liberty to just digress a bit, मैंने अमृत गंगर के साथ ऑडियोगन किया था.
I love him.
तो he said, Kumar Shani once said that film is more of a temporal medium than visual. So how, like, I'm just trying to find.
Mani used to say that. I don't know about Kumar. Mani definitely said that.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm.
For Mani, see, of course, you can't take these two things away.
Correct.
You know, you don't live in space or in time. You live in a continuum, and so does your art. So even, for example, exactly this, when I'm saying that the camera's movement is deciding the shot, the visual, the image, what is happening, time is a part of that movement or lack of movement. If I don't move the camera, it stays here, time is still running through it, flowing in it, you know. And if the camera is moving, time is flowing differently in it. So you are working with that. So with the camera, you are creating space, right? Because my camera is deciding to look at this and not look at that. So I am choosing space, and then slowly it moves like that. And time is running through it. Now, different filmmakers in different stages of their career or their growth grapple with these ideas. Mani was very interested towards the latter part of his filmography in this idea of that it's essentially a medium of time. And he was interested in the rhythms he was creating more than the visual.
It's quite interesting because even I interviewed Ashish Avikuntak and he had a different philosophy where he said, like, I typically try and engage not in what is being shown, but what is happening to the viewer while he or she is looking at it.
Wow.
So, yeah, very interesting take there. But anyway, so coming back to the story and part is that you started off with like, one loses one's reflection, right? So what made you sort of push the boundary, or were the shots not sort of...
No. At that time, when you're writing a script, you're not thinking of the image. Then you're just dealing with the story at that point. You're dealing with characters, story. What are the other parameters of a good script is? Good, I'm not saying in the sense of what is supposed to be good, but to your own parameters that you set up for yourself. Something didn't come together, let's put it that way, in that first draft of him losing a reflection. And then later on it transformed into... Also things change, If I write the same script after 2 years, I'm also not the same person. So something else might be exciting for me at that moment. Simple. Who knows, I'll go back to that reflection film after 10 years, and actually make it about a man who loses his reflection.
So, and then when you said about shots also, in fact, I was listening to your recent podcast with Cyrus, and you mentioned that within 20 seconds, within 15 seconds, you get to know who the filmmaker is with a particular thing. In your case, you also mentioned that you let the actors explore while they are on the set. So there is a storyboard, there is a short breakup.
There's no storyboard, no short breakdown. We don't do.
Oh, there's no short breakup also?
No.
Wow.
I've decided that from my first film that I'll never do that.
So then you are just dealing with your sort of camera?
Dealing with the camera meaning?
As in, like, when you are saying that finally it's a shot that you envisioned, or finally that's the image that is going to be connecting.
But it's an image that you arrive at. I don't want to already know what I'm going to arrive at. That's the difference. It is more stressful, especially for the DOP maybe. But I've been working with the same gentleman, Rafi Mahmood, for last 9 films now. And so we have a great understanding and we share a kind of an aesthetics now. But initially I remember he was flustered to not know what he's going to do because he's going to light up the space and all of that. But now I think he's beginning to enjoy this process. See, the idea for me is to not know where we are going. Of course, you have a script. You have an idea of where you will be in the end, but I don't know the process. I don't know the road. And for me, the excitement is in discovering that every day. If I know everything, of course, it's not a thing for everybody. Different people work differently. I'm just talking about my way of working. That if I know already what I'm going to shoot, then it's execution for me. There's no joy. Then it's work. I know ye shot hai. Shot le lijiye, ghar aa jayiye. No, I'm not interested at all in that kind of filmmaking.
But then, Hitchcock or Ray to ekdam extensive karte
Exactly.
the, right?
He was the exact opposite. That's what I'm saying. So there are great filmmakers who have worked like that, and so there's no taking away from that. But that doesn't work for me at all. I will kill myself if I have to do it. I'll be bored to death. I'll never do that. There's a famous story of Hitchcock that somebody asked him, how's your new film doing? He said, it's all done. I just have to go and shoot it. He really made his films on paper. And that is now become kind of the norm. Hollywood, of course, is a master of this kind of planning. But I think it creates death for me.
Does it somewhere it sits between theatre and film where you're sort
Not
of
at all.
improvising?
I improvise a lot, but I'll tell you my process in theatre in the last 20 years. Everything that I've done, I have no idea what that play is. I have no idea. I'm not kidding you. We have a script ready on the opening night. Before that, we don't have a script. We are rehearsing every day, improvising every day. And for 4 hours and keeping 2 minutes of it. Next day, we go to some other idea and improvise and maybe find 2 minutes of it. Next week, we look at this 2 minutes that we created the first day and try and build on that. And slowly, so you're writing. There's nothing written. You're writing with your actors on the go. So about 2 months happen just improvising on ideas and themes. And then something starts emerging from that. And then you start building on that. But when the play opens that night, you know what you have. It's super exciting. It's super scary. Because you don't know what the play will be. It could be a complete piece of shit. But you have to take that risk. As a creative person, I think you have to take that risk every time. The risk of failure. That what you're going to do could be very bad. But it's okay. I'll take that risk.
But does it mean you have to master some craft? I mean, very sure, like Vinay and everyone is like good actors, right?
They're
so
phenomenal
you have to, really have one balanced out, right? Otherwise, it's tough, right? Otherwise, you're just creating something very abstract.
Yeah. So the actors also have to be ready for this kind of game. It is terrible for actors because very often they go on stage and there's nothing coming from it. There's no instruction. There's no text. How do you work? But these actors that I've been lucky to work with over the last few years, and there are many of them, they know how to push themselves in that direction of exploration. And it can be stressful, it can be painful, but they continue because they know that something will come out of it. It's not a wasted exercise. Yeah. And I really believe this, that when you know where you're going, you'll at best reach there. That is the best possible solution. When you don't know where you're going, then you don't know what you're going to find. Then you can reach paradise. Then you can, really find joy. You can find joy on the way, and you can land in a place which you never imagined. Think of that. Yeah. It is beyond imagination. It's beyond your thinking. It's beyond your cognitive abilities. That is fantastic.
Yeah, beautiful. In fact, मैं एक talk सुन रहा था रविंद्र शर्मा का. He's called fondly Guruji, but वो उन्होंने एक बहुत प्यारी लाइन कही थी कि हम जब घूमने जाते थे तो कुछ देखने के लिए नहीं जाते थे, कुछ भी देखने के लिए जाते थे.
How nice.
So, and that's where, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
कहाँ जा रहे हैं वो भी नहीं पता. कहाँ देखते देखते, क्योंकि जो देखा, that also becomes a part of you and becomes part of your process and becomes a part of your creation. क्योंकि जब आपने देखा ही नहीं था, उसका आपको पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसी भी चीज़ है, लेकिन रास्ते में देखा वो. It's become a part of your journey, and in the end product, it's also there, that orange tree which you didn't even know existed.
Correct. It's a scary.
It's a scary.
Very
process.
vulnerable. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So when the first opening night, when the play opens, and you hear one laugh, you say, "Oh God, okay, it's landing. Something worked." And at the end of the show, you realize that it still might have worked, but okay, it worked.
Yeah. And then again, like refinement and polish keeps happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keeps happening, and keeps happening over years, of course, because play is a living thing.
Yeah.
So like Nothing Like Lear, we've been performing for 12 years, 10 years. Hamlet has been running for 14 years. And after every show, for the next show, we tweak things, we change things. It's a living organism. Now it's fixed, but it's not. If it's too fixed, it'll die. So it has to live.
Correct. I'm feeling very blessed because I think there's a lot of people don't want their own schools. मतलब जैसे घराना होता है वैसे ये मुझे एक घराना दिख रहा है कि एक different philosophy of making films, or at least expressing maybe. So Rajat, does this sort of resonate with this, like, or how would you respond to that, or what is your understanding? I was looking at one TED talk by Shekhar Kapoor when he said almost on the script, on the shoot day, I just throw away the script and I believe that let the chaos happen, and from that some truth might emerge. I mean, this could be a segue to the philosophy section, but
Correct.
How do you sort of look at it?
Yeah, exactly this. That chaos is beautiful, and in our search for order, we get scared of chaos, and then we try and. So when you try and make order, you've taken away everything which is beautiful. Because order needs that. Order needs a path which is known. Order needs
A gardener.
order needs a gardener. Exactly. It needs weeding things out.
Yeah.
Pruning, cutting, and wilderness. Dreams happen in wilderness. Yeah, they don't happen in pruned situations.
Very, very advanced state of sort of knowing what to trim at that level. So maybe this is another question, that how abstraction can be, or how, like, is there any external limits to absurdity? I mean, finally you want to make something which is relatable, right?
Correct.
So then how do you arrive at that?
Not only relatable, for me it's very important to keep the audience engaged. I'm very, very keen of not losing the audience interest. So whether it's Aankhon Dekhi or Mithya or Kadak or RK, I don't want them to be bored. I want them to be engaged every second. So that is very important. And so for me, but I can't judge what you will like. I have no way of judging who you are. The only person I know is me, and I can only judge my feelings, my reactions. That's the only thing I have control over. So and this happens over the edit, when I watch the film and we make a change and then we watch it again and then we make a change, I see how I'm feeling every day. And we make a change based on that. कि हाँ कुछ गड़बड़ लग रहा है यार, इसको चलो फिर से देखते हैं. Let's try and redo this bit. ये ठीक किया, but this has affected this. Now, okay. So every day you try. And towards the end, last 15 days, you make a change. And next day you say, no, what we had was better. Bring it back. Then okay, now it's arriving at its best possible form. And then you kind of, in 15 days, you lock the film. And that has always been the process. So I'm saying that film now, in this form, engages me. And so I would hope that it'll engage you and you and you. And of course, it will not engage many people. But I'm not making it for the lowest common denominator, and it should not reach out to everybody. No. Like I said, first, I can only judge it through me. And then I hope that if I am liking it, then there are others like me on this planet, and somebody else will respond to it also. Yeah. And then the journey finally gets completed, like with RK, when it is out there. Now, okay, whatever the numbers are terrible. Nobody is going to watch the film. It is heartbreaking. It's depressing. But it's okay. For me, the journey is completed now. It is out there. Somebody has seen it. So from me, now it is gone, and I've lived with it for 10 years, from 2011. And it's been in the making for last 4.5 years, with crowdfunding and this and that and that. And then trying to release it for last 1 year. All that. And now it has finally happened. The journey is complete. Now, somebody liked it very much. Somebody said, what is this bakwas? Okay. It's done. It's finished. And also it's out there in the universe now. It exists now.
Correct.
Something that it's beautiful, yeah. Something that you dreamt one day. It's like making a building. It didn't exist. Now it does. Yeah. It's like your child. There was nothing. There was no child. Yeah. Now there's a human being on this earth who will have a life, who will have memories, who will have desires and joy and grief, Wow. It's there.
Yeah.
So now that's what RK is there. Whatever its fate. Whether after 10 years maybe the film will find love, maybe it won't. But it will exist.
Correct. I think I also do audio can in the same hope
right.
कि ये episode एक बार बाहर गया तो
है अभी दुनिया के पास है.
Correct. But any sort of learnings and insights, because you said कि आपका एक sort of vision था या आपका एक expression tha, you put that out, but definitely this was done with a different kind of funding, where I think 800 people contributed, right? So any learnings there, you want to give a shout out through AudioGAN for anybody, or what were the learnings in the sense इन लोगों का भी एस्पिरेशन है एंड दे बिलीव इन व्हाट यू बिलीव,
Right, I
नॉट
know,
रियली इन द
I know.
स्क्रिप्ट मे बी.
I know that's not the learning, but there's great sense of gratitude here. Incredible that other people put faith in you, like you said, not even the film. It's very, very gratifying, and I'm very moved by it. I mean, people have given 100 rupees or 500 rupees. I'll tell you something. Somebody wrote to me saying, "Sir, कल आँखों देखी आ रही थी टीवी पे और मेरे पिताजी देख रहे थे, तो मैंने उनसे कहा कि उनको बहुत अच्छी लगी, तो मैंने उन्हें बताया कि जिस फिल्म मेकर ने बनाई है पिक्चर, वो अभी क्राउड फंडिंग कर रहा है अपनी अगली पिक्चर के लिए. तो मेरे पिताजी ने कहा 500 रुपये मेरी तरफ से दे दे, मेरी माँ ने कहा 500 मेरे भी दे दे, मेरे ब्रदर इन लॉ ने कहा तो इस सारी 5 लोगों की तरफ से 2,500 रुपये.
ब्यूटीफुल.
So moved, yeah. Then there's an actress, I don't know if I can say her name or no. She's a television actress. I don't know her, never met her. Never met her. So she sent a check for 25,000 rupees. I said, okay, wow, thank you very much. Beginning of next month, she sent 25 again. Third month, she sent 25 again. I said, what are you doing? She says, it's my love for Aankhon Dekhi, and as long as I can send, I'll send you money. She sent money for 7 months. 1,75,000. I don't even know this person. I mean, it's incredible. But of course, I must say that this is, in spite of all this, we raised about 15% of the budget through crowdfunding. Then, because the crowdfunding process had started, somebody in Pune heard of this. A couple called Priyam Srivastav and Harshita Karkare. They're software people, very sweet, and they came. They said, we want to be part of this. So they are co-producers on this film. They put in 50% of the money.
Okay.
So if there's a producer, it's Priyam and Harshita, and then I put in some money. So through crowdfunding, we collected about 40-45 lakhs. The rest is still a lot.
Yeah, totally. It gives hope. In fact, मुझे याद आ रहा है I think Martin Luther King का ही dialogue था कि I have a dream and he didn't have a plan. I think dream के लिए लोग दे देंगे.
Yeah, man, really. I mean, I'm so touched by this generosity of people. And not only, it's not just the money, but I think the good wishes come into the film. They find a way to become a part of the film. Their goodwill becomes part of the film.
Yeah.
And if the film works, I believe it's also because of you, really.
Cool. We'll change sort of gears, and I don't know, I'll be blabbering, but I hope you will sort of.
So will I promise you.
Yeah. तो क्या है, where is this sort of conflict coming from as a person, or as ये आपके characters ऐसे क्यों sort of truth के पीछे कुछ search चल रहा है या conflict में है या there's a peculiar sort of thing. I'm sure it's instinctive, but if you look back now,
correct.
There's a pattern emerging.
Now when I look back, I can see the pattern of these obsessive men almost chasing a dream, like a dog chasing its tail, really. Well, I don't know. I like these people, so they keep coming back to me. Like you said, it's not that I'm sitting and thinking, okay, let me think of another obsessive man no, I'm not. But I find these people here. Even Raghu in Raghu Romeo, who thinks Netaji is real on television. It's a similar story. RK in this film wanting to make his film and is another obsessive character. I don't know why they excite me, but they do. And they keep coming back. Though I would very much want to make a gangster film. I have a script. I would very much want to make a love story, like a real love story, and have a script. So I try and go different ways, different directions, to try and not repeat what I've done. So in many ways, RK is very different from Aankhon Dekhi, which is very different from Kadak, which is very different from Mithya, and so.
Yeah. I mean the subtext. I wouldn't say subtext,
but the themes.
Themes.
Themes are similar, yeah. Which is good. Which is how it should be. I think it means that there's a person behind it, and it's not a machine. You know, it's not a machine churning out things.
But as an audience, I have seen like a massive jump. I don't know, maybe because I'm tripping on you, but I could see a massive jump between the storytelling and the layers of thought you wanted to not consciously put out, but the character inherently had in say Sanjay Mishra's character versus the Mehboob Khan's, or you have that one scene where you really sort of कौन रियल है समझता ही नहीं है 2 सेकंड के लिए, राइट? एंड दैट वाज अ स्प्लिट मोमेंट. इनफैक्ट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू पॉज देयर इफ इट वाज एन ओटीटी एंड जस्ट थिंक वेरी हार्ड कि क्या हुआ, राइट? तो देन हाउ डू यू बिल्ड दीज, और इज इट लाइक अ नेचुरल प्रोग्रेशन एज यू ग्रो ओल्ड, एज यू think hard on
I don't know. I don't know. Because when you're working on a film, you're working on that specific film, right? And you're trying to solve the problems that you have created for yourself by presenting yourself this idea. So you're trying to be as organic and as honest in dealing with those ideas in that scenario, in that script, you know. So it's not, you know what I'm saying? So you're really trying to solve those specific problems which are specific to this script. And you're not thinking, okay, what ideas I want to, you know. And like I said, then the ideas that the person you are kind of reflects in what you're doing.
But then how would you, like, is there a definition in your mind about conflict at a philosophical level? Generally, conflict kya hota hai, right? I mean, inherently every idea has a protagonist or an antagonist, right? I mean, metaphorically as well. So have you pondered upon it?
Never. but I will now. So say it again.
Yeah, I mean, how would you define conflict if your characters have it or your script has it, or not really, but when you emerge, how does an idea is typically
born out of a conflict?
Yeah.
Okay. No, actually, the idea is not born out of conflict. How you propagate the idea, you use conflict for that, actually, in dramaturgy.
Yeah.
You know? But what is conflict? I would say you try and live your life trying to avoid it. You know, that because the idea of peace is a lack of conflict, inner and outer, especially inner, because that's where most conflicts are. And the idea of attaining peace is to go beyond that. But again, like I said, in a work, whether it's Aankhon Tikhi or Mithya or RK, the problem is specific to that scenario. So there is no, I don't know at least of any one way of resolving a conflict. But you present yourself a problem, you know, that now there is a man who says, my only truth is the truth of my experience. I will only believe what I experience. So now, you know, this idea also I had for 10 years before I actually wrote it. I didn't know what to do with this idea, and I kept playing with it. And then when I thought of joint family, then it fell. And then I really wrote it in 15 days. Because the joint family gave me the emotional spine, gave me the story beyond the idea. You know, and then I wrote it. अच्छा छोटा भाई है, भाइयों में लड़ाई होगी, बेटी की शादी, पुराना characters came. Bauji emerged as the head of the family, you know, who has this kida in his head. Everything fell into place. But it took me 7 years to get there. So then you start with this idea. Now, okay, there's a man who says, I will only believe what I experience. And then you start exploring it. Say, अच्छा अभी कहाँ जा सकता है, क्या होगा? तो फिर मैं what I thought of was राजा हरिश्चंद्र की कहानी. जैसे आपने जनक की कहानी सुनाई, राजा हरिश्चंद्र की कहानी यही तो है कि मैं सच बोलूँगा, और वो सच बोलने के चक्कर में वो गिरता जाता है. सेम एज जनक. दिस इज अ रेगुलर प्रोसेस ना, कि आप वहाँ से शुरू हुए थे और गिरेंगे, आप गिरेंगे गिरेंगे गिरेंगे, अंत तक गिरेंगे. जहाँ आपने बेटा बेच दिया, कुछ पहनने को नहीं, कपड़ा नहीं, फ्यूनरल जाके शमशान में कुछ आप चुरा के खा रहे हैं, उस हालत तक पहुँच जाएंगे आप. लेकिन यू वोंट गिव अप the idea, your obsession, your truth, which is Raja Harishchand's truth. So now I said, okay, this is very similar to where Bauji is going to be. So what will happen to him? What will happen if a guy like this, बीवी कहेगी पागल हो गए तो, है ना, सारे घर वाले will be patient with him to start with कि चलो ठीक है, 4 दिन में भूत उतर जाएगा, नहीं उतरा तो कहेगा यार क्या मतलब, नौकरी छोड़ दिया. मोहल्ले वाले हंसेंगे, अरे मजाक कर रहे हैं क्या. धीरे धीरे दिल चेंज इनटू चेले बन गए. फिर इतने चेले बन गए कि जो भी बाबूजी कर रहे हैं वही सच हो गया. यू नो, सो दिस इज हाउ यू अराइव एट थिंग्स. You know, so this is the where the craft is, you know, of building a character, building a situation, make it entertaining, making characters real, taking them through situations which will complete the journey in a way, you know. So this is the craft of writing for me. And sorry to interrupt you.
No,
And
no.
all of this is like exploring around your idea. फिर क्या, चलो बाबूजी अभी मौन व्रत ले लिया. I thought it was a fantastic idea. कि शब्दों से नहीं हो रहा है, मेरा समझ नहीं हो रही है, मुझे शब्दों से ज्ञान नहीं मिल रहा है, मैं कुछ और रास्ते पे जाता हूँ. मैं चुप हो गया, बोलूँगा ही नहीं. फिर देखा कि वो ताश खेल रहा, तो ताश खेला कुछ में. सो he went beyond morality in search of his truth, you know, कि ये अच्छा है, ये बुरा है, कौन कह रहा है ना. मैं करके देखूंगा ना यार, मुझे तो मजा आ रहा है ताश खेलने में यार, क्योंकि तो पत्तों में तो जादू है. लेट मी डिस्कवर इट, यू नो.
As an audience like me, I would say that he's probably living in the moment.
Correct.
And then
Correct. And
to
deciding for himself whether it works or no. I'm not going to accept your truth for anything now. You know, आप क्यों कह रहे हैं कि जुआ खेलना बुरी बात है? मुझे तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. You know, and like one of his चेहरा says, ये तो संभावनाओं का खेल है. It's a game. That is what he's discovering. कि ताश के 3 पत्ते आ जाते हैं ना साथ में, आपको पता नहीं क्या मजा है उसका. You know, जादू है वो. So that is the magic he's discovering now. After a point he'll get bored of it. Say कि नहीं, this is not fulfilling. You know, I'll go some other path. What I like about Babuji in that sense is because in the search for truth there is no fixed path, and he will change every day. That is the beauty of it, no? Because अगर मैं सच ढूंढ रहा हूँ तो मुझे पता ही नहीं ना क्या सच है यार. फिर तो मैं रोज ढूंढूंगा उसको नई दिशा में, ना.
मैं मौन में चला जाता हूँ. I mean, it starts with this Prasadni Kalakand there.
Right, correct.
Yeah, so
Correct.
yeah. Amazing.
And similarly for RK, so then you have this idea of a character running out who's saying, like we discussed earlier, of first not realizing that he's written, then coming to a realization, oh my God, I'm just a character. But being just a character limits me? Does it limit me? Should it limit me? No. I have free will. I will write my own story now. And just because you are in this world, what makes you feel that you are real? Maybe आप भी किसी कहानी के किरदार हो, आपके पास भी उतने ही लफ्ज़ हैं जितने आपको दिए गए हैं. मुझे मालूम है आप क्या करेंगे. You're also bound by your idea of free will, but you're not free, you know. So then you take this conflict higher, and you know, RK can also be read in a way that nobody has run out of anything, or the idea of reflection, but it is RK's inner split. He's going through a split. You know, it's very easily an understanding of text like that. And the opening image is that of him entering different doors and coming out different doors. It's his split.
Do you think sort of ego is the one who sort of obstructs your free will? Like maybe like just a concluding thought that like now after the film, do you have any reflections on is there a free will?
I believe very strongly in free will. I believe very strongly in destiny also. You know, I'll tell you my
That's where the conflict is coming from. Thanks for sharing this.
No conflict at all. Because, you know, you are given things which you have no control over. I didn't choose where I'm going to be born. My parents were this. I didn't choose that. I didn't choose the genetic structure that I have. I didn't choose that I will be 6 feet tall. I could have been 4 feet 5, you know, or looked a different way, or been born somewhere else I had no money, whatever. None of that I chose. I didn't choose my mental makeup also to an extent, because it's largely defined by
The nurture part of it, yeah.
Nurture part, or even biologically, what I have, what hormones I have or don't have. I didn't choose any of that. I'm 60 years old. That I'm not dead of a disease already. I didn't choose that, But what I did choose, that I smoked for many years, which was stupid, That. So there is a given lot. Lot is given. But then you work with the given. And that is where free will comes in. That is when I really sincerely believe that every day you're making yourself. And with every choice that you make, you're making yourself differently. The fact that we are meeting has changed your life, has changed my life. We are not the same people that we were an hour back. And I sincerely believe that. I may not be able to put a actual, tangible difference to it, but I know this for sure, that we have changed.
Yeah.
And we have changed, and so we have changed the course of our life in some way. Absolutely certain. So that is where free will is. Because every step you're making a choice. You're saying, idhar jaun, idhar jaun, idhar jaun. And there are a billion choices in front of you. Every step, you choose one of those billion possibilities. And you go on that path. Next step, again you have a billion choices. Again you choose one. Right? So everything you do, you're making your life, your destiny in that sense.
Lot of food for thought and lot of things to introspect. Okay, I think we can conclude. Maybe just last sort of words that you want to share on AudioGyan, and what's up, what's next, any other crowdfunding which...
No, I hope not. I hope not for many years. I hope I will get generous producers and not have to go through crowdfunding. But I've just finished, we shot a new film this year, and I'm very excited. It's called Everybody Loves Surabh Handa. It's a murder mystery. It's a whodunit. And all my favorite actors are in it. All of them.
Nice.
So, super exciting. We just finished editing it. And now work on sound begins. It should be ready in another 4 months.
Great. All the best, and really looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. Such a pleasure talking to you.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Such a pleasure.
And that's it from today's Gyan session. For show notes and more Gyan, visit audiogyan.com. And if you wish to connect with me, I am at AudioGyan Moments on Instagram. Until then, take care.
Hello! It's been a great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On This Round is on Me, Gauri is joined by Shweta Nanda. They talk about the financial independence and how it is to be a woman entrepreneur. On Anish Thing, Anish welcomes ultra-marathon runner Shivani Gharat. Shivani shares her journey of how she ran her first marathon, the mindset of a runner, and what it actually takes to run a full marathon. On Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Naveen, Akash and Shreyas talk about the Korean band BTS serving in the military and its repercussions. On Think Fast, Varun and Suchita discuss Wing Greens and their latest acquisitions and about the Indian sexual wellness market. And on Shunya One, Sheila Datya is joined by Dinika Bhatia, CEO and founder of Nuttigritties. They talk about coming from a business family and Dinika's journey in creating healthy and guilt-free snacking. Once again, don't forget to visit our merch store on ivmpodcast.com. We have some exciting new merch out there for you. Also, do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And do remember to spread the word about these shows and any other shows you might be listening to. Appreciate them, rate them and review them wherever you are listening to them. You can also check out all our other shows on youtube.com/IVM Podcasts. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week. Volvo XC40 Recharge, Bumble, Heads Up for Tails, Kotak Privy League Program and HDFC Mutual Fund. Thanks guys, without you this would not be possible.
Do you often find yourself surrounded by conversations about Web3, blockchain, NFTs, DAOs? What are these terms and how do they affect our future on the internet? So many questions, but don't worry, we've got answers to all your questions. Hi, I'm Eklavya Bhattacharya, and on our show Future Proofing, we try to decode the impact of these future technologies on various industries with experts and tech enthusiasts. Tune into new episodes coming out every Thursday on the IVM Podcast app and the website, or wherever you get your podcasts from.